I'm now on a street in Central. It's called Lyndhurst Terrace. There's a bookstore. There's the escalator. Tall building. Some old buildings. And newspaper guy. And I'm here because I just decided to come here and tell the story about how this is HSBC Bank, a little tiny bank, and in 2006 I was here in the bank and I was in line, and there was about 12 people in line, and there was a guy ahead of me, and he turned around and he came up to me and he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, "I have a message from God for you." I was kind of surprised, and the people in line were a bit surprised too, and he said, "You must think positive for 6 months and see what happens." And I went, "Okay, thank you." And he said, "Don't thank me. God told me to tell you that, so I'm telling you that. And tell your family, and just do it and see what happens." So I sent my friend an email about that, and I said, "Wow, this really weird thing happened in the bank." This guy came up to me. See how noisy this place is? And then also when we went up to the counter, he was at the counter ahead of me, and then I went up and I was like kind of checking him out. He was a man in a white suit, cream color suit, and he was Indian. And I looked over at him, and because I was trying to see if he was for real, and he said, yes, he was doing a transaction for about $3,000, and I thought, oh, and he looked at me, and I said, "Thanks again." He said, "Don't thank me. God told me to tell you that, so I'm just telling you." And then I never saw him again. And so, as it happened, the next day I had a really unfortunate experience that was upsetting. I didn't think about the man in the bank at the time, but I don't know how much time later, but I did remember him, and I started looking up positive thinking. And since that time, that's all I've spent my time on. I've been learning about consciousness and the mind. And I've always been a really happy, excited person about some things, but also, you know how things can get you down. But I have learned that positive thinking is not just positive thinking, it is mind management. And it is up to us to control our thoughts at every moment, because they are powerful. So I'm just passing that message on to you, because maybe you don't know that. And we are powerful forces, and it starts with our own mind. Basically, everything is our mind. So I've been reading books like this, Mind Cosmology. I've carried this everywhere, spilled coffee on it and everything. It is really a great book. And it's by Anthony Norvell. Of course, I've read a lot of other books too by Charles Hannell and all those, major New Thought people. But I have to say also that learning about this made the teachings of Jesus come alive. And I also started reading again this book, which at my former school in the art department they were cleaning up. and they were going to throw it away. In fact, they did throw it away in the trash. So I got it out. I didn't feel right about throwing a holy book in the trash, so I had that. So since I've learned about the mind, and learning how to have constructive thoughts and the power that they have on the world, that things that Jesus said made a lot of sense. And he was a magical, wonderful, well, it depends on how you feel, you know, what you believe. If you're a Christian, you believe he's God. If not, he had a lot to say to everyone anyway. So it's up to you to come to the conclusion what you feel about his wow, this is intense. Here's another book I just got at a used bookstore. I just came across it, and this is so great. Power Within You, TNT. And that is written by one of my favorite people, Claude Bristol. You can see his videos on YouTube, a series called The Magic of Believing. That is fabulous. And I love to watch that. And this book also, oops. This book also is signed. So that's cool. Signed by Harold Sherman. And I looked him up on the internet, and he has a lot of interesting stories and books. So it's Chinese New Year, and a lot of people are out and about, and the truth is we got to choose love over fear, and find out what it is to think positive, and because it's way, way, way more than just thinking positive. It is your power. Your thoughts are your power, because the world is an illusion. It's all frequencies and energies and vibrations, and animals know it, insects know it, birds know it, everything knows it, and we need to know it. So, Happy New Year, and use your power. Thanks for watching. Bye now.